Lara versus Garcia, Caleb Plant against some MAGA guy. We'll talk about that. Stephen Fulton is back, and Rolly.
Yeah, no, let's start with Lara Garcia. I mean, that's an interesting, fight right there. We know that Lara has, he hasn't been in his prime for a minute there, but he's still lingering on in that weak middleweight division. We know that Danny Garcia doesn't fight unless he has a name that he thinks he could beat. I think it feels like he fights once every 3 years now. So yeah, man, give me your thoughts on that fact, Gio.
I mean, look, both men past their primes, obviously. I think this is actually an interesting one. I'm just upset. I'm very upset that it's actually for a title. I mean, that's ridiculous. But Lada does have that title. He's had it for a while. He hasn't really faced tough opposition at middleweight, 160. Um, and now you got Danny Garcia, going up, trying to do something there. Uh, I think it's an interesting fight because both men are past their prime. I think both men are going to be slow. It's going to be interesting to watch two, for lack of a better term, washed up guys. But like I said, for a title, it's insane. Both of these guys are not on that championship level. I'll go ahead and show you guys the poll up here when I get a chance. But I think it's an interesting fight, a good filler. That this is the one where you're grabbing your pizza, you're grabbing your drinks, you're having convos with your friend, and it's kind of there in the background. I think when I first heard about it, I wasn't interested in it. I think what makes it interesting is that it's on the Canelo undercard, and people will be watching, people will be paying for the pay-per-view, people will be there in Vegas, so it's a decent undercard fight. I'm not gonna hate too much on it.
Yeah, again, like you said, these are two name guys past their prime. Erislandy's 41, if you can believe that. That's what the same age as Triple G, I think. Danny Garcia's 36. I want to say maybe Danny even he I feel like he hasn't taken care of his body as well as Erislandy at 41, in my opinion. But this is one of those. I think this is one of those fights that we might pick a different guy, Gio, and this might separate us on that on our predictions. But yeah, man, it's 5 6 years ago would have been interesting. Right now, it's just yeah, again, two guys that are just hanging on to their name. Last couple big paydays that they can get. Not sure how much they're getting for this, but yeah, again, that middleweight division is probably the weakest I've seen it in years, and so this is why guys like Erislandy and Danny Garcia are still able to make fights like this. But yeah, we can do our predictions at the end. Gio, this is a thinker for me. Again, I feel like we could pick Lara, you could pick Danny, and you can make a logical decision to come to who you want to win. But I gotta think about this one a little bit.
I don't know, when was the last time he fought? 2022 against Jose Benavides Jr. Before that, he fought in 2020. So took 2 years off, then fought, and now he took another 2 years off. So Danny Garcia, 37-3, 21 knockouts. His last few opponents, I'll go ahead and name them. He defeated Jose Benavides Jr. That was at 154. He defeated him by majority decision. He lost to Errol Spence in 2020, 2 years before that. Let's see. Wasn't even close, as you guys see it. 116, 112, 117, 111. He defeated Ivan Redcatch by unanimous decision, who I believe lost to Jose Troncepeda this past weekend. KO'd Adrian Granados. Lost by unanimous decision versus Sean Porter. That was in 2018. That's 6 years ago, man. We're talking about Danny like I would say in his prime at this moment. 2018. You see that Brandon Rios he TKO'd. He lost to Keith Thurman. Some other notable fights: Paulie Malignaggi in 2015, Robert Guerrero in 2016. These fights were also at 47. Kind of a lot bigger than those guys. Lamont Peterson defeated him by majority decision. Mauricio Herrera in 2014. We're talking 10 years ago, Chris. Remember that fight was in Puerto Rico where he was struggling to speak Spanish. And I remember I thought he lost this fight. One judge had a draw. The other two gave it to him 116, 112. The biggest win of his career, I'd say, I believe that was also in that Canelo undercard. Canelo Mayweather, if I remember correctly. Um, Lucas Matisse. Uh, that was in 2013. Defeated Zab Judah, Eric Morales, too. The older guys. TKO'd Amir Khan. So yeah, a lot of good names on that resume. He has 3 losses. Danny Garcia. So let's get into Lara, man. Let's get into Lara. Let us know what you guys think in the live chat and in the comment section if you guys are watching the replay of this clip. Let's get into Erislandy Lara, man. Let's see if he has a case, right? We're talking about as if these guys were retired already, Chris, but no, they're actually fighting each other. Erislandy Lara, 30-3, 18 KOs, 41 years old. We'll take a look at how he's coming into the fight. He fought this year against Michael Sarafa, stopped him. I think you were there at that fight, weren't you? Then he took a 2-year layoff. He fought Gary O'Sullivan, TKO'd him. Look at Lara getting KOs late in his career. Tomas Lamana, never heard of him. Greg Vendetti, never heard of him. He won that vacant belt against Greg Vendetti, whoever that is. What else do we got? Ramon Alvarez. Is that Canelo's brother? Let me find out.
I think so. I think so.
Split decision versus Brian Castano. That one I was very surprised by. And then also him losing to Jared Hurd before that. I think those two were surprising to me. Terrell Gaucher, 2017. We're talking about 7 years ago now. Vanes Martirosyan. A lot of names I don't recognize here. Austin Trout, he defeated in 2013. Stopped Alfredo Angulo in 2013 as well. Fought Martirosyan again. When was it he fought Canelo? I think 14, right?
It's 2014.
Yeah. Yep. And July of 2014, he lost by split. A lot of people still dispute this one. Y'all got to watch boxing. You can't win a fight if you don't throw punches, man. You can't win a fight if you don't throw punches. So, but that was probably the highlight of his career, having a close fight with Canelo 14 years ago. Now he's fighting on a Canelo undercard. Yeah, you would think he's gonna hang him up soon, right? But hey, he's a champion right now. He's a champion, so we'll see how long this lasts, and we'll see what he can do against. You can say a smaller Danny Garcia who's been very inactive. You mentioned the mental health stuff, the layoffs, the inconsistencies by Danny as of late, but. Hey man, we got to give our predictions, Chris. We got to give our predictions at some point. I don't know if you have made your mind.
I want to say Erislandy Lara wins this one. Even though he's got knockouts, I'm gonna say decision. I think Danny Boy's got a good chin. I think he does have power to hurt Lara, and he could pull up a shocker, but I don't expect it. So Erislandy Lara by decision, even at 41.
Damn, man, that's exactly what I'm going with. Big Bro too. Say Lara in his 40s is levels above Danny. So we're both going Lara by decision now. Let's go to the poll. Let's show you guys the poll real quick. I have not seen it. I have not voted yet. I'm going to go ahead and cast my vote right here. All right. And you see the results there. This was posted 17 hours ago. 250 votes. 44% of the people are going with Lara. 56% are saying Danny. Are you excited to watch Rolly back? His last fight was that TKO loss, obviously, versus your boy, Pitbull Cruz. He now has 2 losses, 13 KOs and 15 wins. 28 years old, Rolly Florencio Romero Moreno. He lost to Cruz in March. That's when he was stopped.
Yeah. Now let me just start off saying I think Rollies, and I've said it time and time again, he's good for boxing. He's a good entertainer. He is like this era's Adrian Broner when it comes to just trash talk and getting on the mic and saying just crazy stuff, you know, wearing outlandish outfits and just making it a fun press conference, making it a fun event. So yeah, no, I'm excited for Rolly. Again, he's of the people. Like whether you're not convinced by his fundamentals or his antics or whatever, he is of the people. You know, we've had him on the podcast before when we were first starting, you know, called him up. You know, we had some good banter back and forth. I think he's good. Again, he's good for boxing. I don't know too much of his opponent, but you know, we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm excited to see what how he bounces back from that hellacious beatdown by People Cruz.
You had to add hellacious, huh? Man, this guy. Anything with Pitbull is golden, according to Chris. Yeah, his opponent, Manuel Jaimes, 16-1-1, 11 KOs. He's from San Jose, California. Chris, this doesn't look like a wash. I've never heard of his opponent, but he's fighting a guy with 11 KOs and 16 victories. He's won his last couple fights by unanimous decision. He fought twice already in 2024, in March and in July, 2 months ago. So, man, yeah, I mean, we'll see what Rollies we get in this fight. Rolly, who last fought against Isaac Cruz. Last year, he fought against Barroso. That egregious TKO win. I'm not sure what the hell the referee was doing there. 2022, he lost by TKO to Gervonta Davis. And nothing really spectacular before that. That unanimous decision against Jackson Mariñas in 2020. Another robbery. So we'll see. I hope he wins, though. Like you said, I think he's good for boxing. He's a modern day AB, even though AB's still active, quote unquote, you can say. But Rolly's an entertaining guy, so I hope he wins. Another filler, Chris. I'm not mad at it. Yeah, and this is what the other fights that we have also on that card. Shout out to our boy Lawrence King. Lawrence, who we've had on the podcast, done multiple interviews with him. 27 years old, 16-1, 13 KOs. He's been on a lot of Canelo undercards. All right, he was one of Canelo's main sparring partners when he had that run at 168, that undisputed run when he was beating all these guys. Southpaw, 6'2" Lawrence. So big guy. That's why Canelo liked sparring with him. Smart fighter, slick fighter. So he'll be on the undercard against Vaughn Williams, who's 12-1. Close. Come on. 12-1, 8 KOs. He's coming off a split decision win. King there. I believe he lost a close fight. Here against a guy who was 3-0. This was also in a Canelo undercard. This was in 2018. So he's been on a roll ever since. Interesting fighter, Lawrence King. So keep an eye on him. What else do we have here? We talked about Rolando. Stephen Fulton, Chris, who's now 21-1, only 8 KOs. Obviously, you guys remember him from, a couple good victories. He defeated Daniel Roman, also Brandon Figueroa, but took that beating against Naoya Inoue last year, July of 2023. He's making his comeback against Carlos Castro, who's 30-2, 14 KOs. And yeah, he's coming off a unanimous decision win.
Yeah, no, again, there's a lot of good names. I think I normally, like you said, we normally don't skim through the undercards of Canelo because we normally don't get a lot. Let's just call it how it is. But yeah, there's some good names there. So I know that the price tag is a little high. I don't know if you've noticed how much it is, Gio. It's a little high. I'm not sure if you're gonna pay for it. I'll find a way to see it. The way my pockets are set up, I don't have the cash for this one, but we'll find a way to watch it. But yeah, it's if you're gonna pay for something, this is the first card in a minute that you see some pretty good names that people recognize in a while in a Canelo card.
Yeah, no, I'm very straightforward and transparent. I don't pay for many pay-per-views. But I am paying for this one, Chris. I had a couple people who do want to watch it, so we'll be pitching in, and I'll be sending out some more invites, man, more text messages, trying to lower that cost for everyone, But yeah, I'll be watching for sure. Caleb Plant, also now on a Canelo undercard. Caleb Plant, as you guys remember, he fought Canelo in 2021. That's when Canelo became the undisputed champion. Caleb Plant had that last missing piece, that belt. Some people think he got overpaid. He got over 10 million, if I remember correctly, to fight Canelo. Canelo needed that belt, so he had to take it. He was stopped by Canelo in 2021. Really I was one of the biggest critics of Caleb Plant for his resume before Canelo. He really didn't have much there. If you see the names there, Jose Uzcategui, 2019. I was actually at that fight. I don't remember, Chris, if you were there too, but
Yeah, it's Microsoft Theater. I think Big Bro was
yeah,
there, and I think Brian.
yeah,
Yeah,
it was a few of us who made it out there. I believe Leo Santa Cruz was the headliner. Um, but yeah, thin resume, and then he started stepping it up. Obviously, he had a decent performance against Saul before he getting stopped. Anthony Durrell stopped him, which is kind of surprising to me because Caleb Plant's not really a puncher. 13 KOs and 22 wins. And then lost to Benavides, a unanimous. And he's now fighting Trevor MAGA McCumby, Chris. 28 and 0, 21 KOs, 31 years old. He's been wearing that weird red hat. Nothing really on his resume as you see there. So a lot of people are predicting Caleb to defeat this MAGA guy. Big Bro said Plant by KO. But yeah, this is an interesting fight. I think Plant wins though. I think he might get another stoppage.
like yeah, again, Caleb Plant, like you said on the Canelo undercard, he's gonna want to make a statement. He's gonna try to again insert himself back in and around contenders for Canelo. Like you said, Gio, before he fought Canelo, he had a few good wins on his way to becoming a title holder. But I think he learned the most just being in that fight with Canelo, not just inside the ring and experience that you get in that ring, but just also the pressures that come from being in a big event, bright lights, having to do multiple, interview tour dates. So I think he grew a lot from that fight. And obviously, we know that we want to see him fight against notable names in that division. Even if they're not the Canelo, we want to see him fight some good notable names. I think he's garnered the respect from a lot of the boxing fans that didn't know who he was, or maybe thought he was just this poser esque kind of fighter. I think he's earned that respect.
Is Plant stopping this guy or no?
He's gotta. I think he's gotta.
We're going
Again,
Plant
I don't
KO.
know too much about the guy, but I think what I just mentioned
The guy.
levels above certain people, and he needs to make a statement on a Canelo card.
Yep. All right. What else do we have on here?
Is that your official too?
Yeah, I'm going with Caleb Plant stopping MAGA
Stoppage.
McCumby.